If you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it well enough. Another great quote by Albert Einstein, and one that every science communicator should take to heart. Just 3 things here. It's a good quote, but not by Einstein. Albert Einstein is the Mark Twain of physics because he said so many witty things that any good quip is now automatically attributed to him. In German, we have an expression for this, a Kuckuckszitat, or cuckoo's quote. The cuckoo is a bird notorious for laying its eggs into the nests of other birds and letting them deal with the consequences. So the cuckoo is often used for anything to do with misattribution. Therefore, Kuckuckszitat. There is no source of Einstein ever having said or written this statement, and any other variations of it, like, if you can't explain it to a 6-year-old, you don't understand it yourself. Or an older version, if you can't explain it to a barmaid, you don't understand it well enough. This was originally attributed to Ernest Rutherford on an equally precarious footing. Today's version would probably include a barista. The saying is also misattributed to Richard Feynman, but I remember reading him saying something similar about, I believe, the spin statistic theorem. I'm not positive though, so I might be putting out another fake quote. It's a good quote and it's true. Science communication is important because we need to show people, and especially young people, that science is cool and interesting so that it can continue with the next generation. And of course, as science is largely publicly funded, it's a good idea to show to the public that this is worthwhile funding. Science has radically advanced our understanding of the universe, which is of course great, but it also has a huge drawback. Most people can't understand it anymore. In my opinion, in physics we are now exclusively dealing with stuff that no normal person can understand or even imagine anymore. And we have been doing that for at least 200 years. So science communication cannot work the same as communication between scientists. It is a completely different craft. Getting rid of complicated language is a must. While most mathematical models that are used are excellent for doing the actual science, they are almost useless for explaining it to a general public. Also, the quote is a reminder that in order to effectively communicate something, you need to simplify it, and to do that, you really need to grasp it, to command it. Science communication is, in almost all cases, better left to people with intimate knowledge of what they are talking about. So all in all, I think this is a good maxim, a good slogan to guide your efforts as a science communicator, as are related statements like science without the gobbledygook. Especially as there are some fields in academia, not science but certain studies, that have actually very, very little to say once you get rid of all the fancy language. It's a good quote, but it's also wrong. Finally, the curb your enthusiasm part. Simply put, not everything is simple and not everything has to be. The universe is under no restriction at all to function in a way that we humans find pleasing or can understand. Some things are messy and complicated and ugly. There is no guarantee that our brains are powerful enough to ever understand everything that is out there to be understood. It's actually rather unlikely if you ask me. As Albert Einstein said, everything should be made as simple as possible, but not simpler. Einstein may have crafted this aphorism, but there is no direct evidence in his writings. He did express a similar idea in a lecture, but not concisely. Composer Roger Sessions was a key figure in the propagation of this saying. In fact, he may have crafted it when he attempted to paraphrase an idea imparted by Einstein.